And first up, we get you breaking details coming in. A sea of crowd that had gathered at Usman Hadi's funeral, where Bangladesh Chief Advisor Mohammed Yunus had attended the funeral. Mohammed Yunus was present at Usman Hadi's funeral. Those are the visuals on your screens from Dhaka. And you see how many people had gathered to mourn the loss of Usman Hadi. India hater Sharif Usman Hadi, who was killed in Bangladesh. Usman Hadi, responsible for Sheikh Hasina's ouster, was killed. He was shot in the head by masked assailants. And there, so many supporters who had gathered for his final journey, but most importantly, pictures of Mohammed Yunus that came in, who attended the funeral. Inderjeet Kundu joining us with all the details of what had happened at the funeral of Usman Hadi. So many people had gathered there, and Mohammed Yunus, who also attended the funeral.
Well, that's right. Just a short while back in the afternoon, there was this massive janaza or funeral ceremony that took place in the parliament premises in Dhaka, which was attended by the Chief Advisor of the Interim government, Mohammed Yunus himself. Sea of people, thousands and thousands of them had joined, mostly the youth and student leaders, because Sharif Usman Hadi was very, very popular. He was a student leader, somebody who rose to prominence from last year's the July protest that saw the overthrowing of the Hasina regime. He was, of course, the spokesperson of the Inqilab Manch, which he had, which he was a part of. And his mortal remains were brought in from Singapore last night, and then just a short while back, what we are given to understand is that the burial process has already begun, and he is going to be buried inside the same premises in the Dhaka University campus, where legendary poet Kazi Nazrul Islam, who is a national poet of Bangladesh, he will be buried right next to the burial area of Kazi Nazrul Islam. So you can imagine the kind of prominence and the kind of significance that the Yunus administration is now attaching to this entire funeral ceremony, with Mohammed Yunus himself going there and being present himself. So he knows that it is something which is of deep sentimental value to the youth of Bangladesh right now, especially the young student leaders who actually took part in the students' protests in the July-August upheaval last year, which led to the falling of the Sheikh Hasina regime. And these students were also part of his government. They were inducted in his government as advisors. But when they announced and launched their own party, the National Citizens Party, then they dissociated themselves. They resigned from the government, and they are in politics right now. Bangladesh is heading towards the election. Mohammed Yunus, of course, has already announced that February 12 is the date for the national elections. But a huge question mark right now, given the law and order situation and the unfolding political reality in Bangladesh right now, with the kind of fresh upheaval that we are seeing. It's almost reminiscent of what happened last year during July and August, during the students' protests, with students and large number of young people laying siege of central Dhaka, the Shahbag area, and protesting. And now, during that time, they were demanding the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Now they are demanding justice for Sharif Usman Hadi, somebody, as you rightly said, shot into political prominence in Bangladesh with his anti-India rhetoric. And the narrative currently underway in Bangladesh, with many of these student leaders giving vitriolic speech against India. They're saying that the prime accused in this case, the person who shot Usman Hadi, he has fled to India. Now, we haven't heard from the administration yet as to whether these claims that are now fueling such anti-India sentiments over social media and on the ground in Bangladesh, what is the veracity of such claims? It's also, points to the absolute lack of law and order situation. Somebody who was such a prominent student leader is killed in broad daylight, shot at point blank range by unidentified assailants, now of course identified, and the government couldn't give him that protection. So a lot of question marks on Bangladesh's road to a fresh democratic elections, which are scheduled for February. Suesha.
Inderjeet, I'm going to come to you on these points a little later, but for the moment, I also want to understand from you, how is India assessing the ongoing situation?
Well, very, very closely. The Indian establishment, the Indian government is monitoring the situation very closely because there are serious concerns for the Indian government in New Delhi. You have the High Commission in Dhaka. Over the past 72 hours, there have been multiple calls of protests outside the Indian High Commission in Dhaka. There is massive security. The army and the border guards, Bangladesh, have been deployed to, protect the envoy and the Indian mission there. There are other Indian missions in other cities as well, like in Rajshahi, like in Chittagong. In fact, we've shown visuals of how angry protesters pelted stones at the Assistant High Commission's office in Chittagong day before yesterday. So, given that there is massive spread of these anti-India sentiments, and given that the student leaders who are leading this protest right now, they are continuously, speaking out against India, challenging the Indian administration, talking about the Seven Sisters, even Hadi talking about annexation of the seven northeast Indian states. These are things that are seen as an open provocation, and we haven't heard from the senior ministers of the Mohammed Yunus government or Mohammed Yunus himself trying to curb down on such hate speech against India. They haven't given any message out, and that's the reason why the Indian government summoned the Bangladesh High Commissioner to New Delhi and did raise India's concerns, did flag Indians' concerns about safety and security of its missions and the diplomatic personnel right now present in Bangladesh.
And how is one to read into Yunus's messaging here towards his country, towards India? Because at one end, he's attending that funeral. He's saying that Hadi's legacy will endure for generations. On the other hand, he knows India is watching. How is one to read into these signals?
Well, look, Suwesha, it's very clear. Mohammed Yunus, he is the head of the interim government in Bangladesh. So for him to go and attend the funeral of Sharif Usman Hadi does send in a message. You would remember day before yesterday when the announcement was first made officially that Sharif Usman Hadi had died. He's no more. And that raised massive sentiments across Bangladesh, which resulted in massive violence and arson at media houses, Prothom Alu and Daily Star offices.
And Inderjeet, let's not forget that he himself has issued a warning to the perpetrators of this violence. Now, how he deals with the ongoing situation, India is certainly watching every bit of it, and I'll keep coming back to you for further details, even when it comes to answers on Usman Hadi's killing. For the moment, we shift focus.